Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Jaraci Cup. We're going to be casting here now FrostyTeeth versus Mazrym. And by the way, a big shout out to FrostyTeeth for getting all of his games done. I think some other people have as well, perhaps. Like maybe Blue Boo got all of his done too, I'm not sure. But I know Frosty has. And I'm a little bit behind in casting them, but we're just going to be jumping into it now. This is between him and Mazrym. This is from Group A, by the way. This is my group. Yeah, so FrostyTeeth going to be Gaussian, Mazrym is Soban on the Shallows, and already I'd say that's probably good for Mazrym, huh? I don't know, I feel like the Shallows is a map which often comes down to railgun fights. Soban, I think, generally tend to fare pretty well on it. We'll have to see, though. And it's definitely a map where you can't be attacked very easily in the early game, and it's probably something that a Soban player is going to appreciate as well. FrostyTeeth, I notice, is retiring his base burner immediately, so he may be going for something a little bit sneaky. Excuse me, and he's making two salvagers here and then straight into production cruiser. Yeah, okay, so this is going to be some kind of a rush build, probably. I guess you could actually spin this eco as well, but like I don't think you would. Let's see what the choice is going to be from Mazrym. He is moving out with that base runner. He's got an LAV fabrication early, and he's going to be producing a couple of those. And that, I think, bodes very well for him because he should see this coming rather early. The way these guys are all on CUs here tells me it's going to be like a sand skimmer rush now from FrostyTeeth. And if that's the case, you know, like I said, these LAVs, they ought to be able to scout it very early, and then Mazrym can switch into AAV fab. But he'll have to recognize what's coming. It's not always as easy as it looks. This carrier here just like body blocking this production crew is like, get out of my way. I think he's actually trying to... Wait, no, what is he doing? I'm not really sure. Out comes the production cruiser. And Sandskimmer Fab finishing in about 10 seconds, he'll be ready to go. I guess he could make 2 more salvagers if he wanted to, but kind of too late for that now. And so he'll probably be off. Now, he doesn't want the probe to see the second one, so you want to pull this back. Ugh. I think he's already been spotted. That's tricky, though. You have to respond pretty much immediately to that kind of thing. So Mazrym ought to know there's 2 production cruisers out, and if I were him, I would be immediately clicking up to AV fabrication. Check his resources. I'm worried he's... Railguns. I'm not sure. I mean, then again, it could always be a railgun rush, couldn't it? In which case you would want railguns of your own, but... I don't know. I feel like if you see the second production cruiser that early, it's probably going to be a Sandskimmer rush, but... We shall see. We shall see. At any rate, he does seem to have recognized what it was. He's making more LAVs. He's getting a tech choice. So, I mean, he knows like what the general idea is here. That's going to be like a 2 production cruiser aggro build. Now, Frosty still doesn't actually have the numbers just yet. He's going to have to build up a little bit before he gets that. Interestingly enough, it's actually him who stands to lose more eco if they base traded here, which is not really very common, I wouldn't say. He should be careful that this guy doesn't throw out a targeting jammer in a really nasty spot, but... I mean, this should be his fight if he takes it. Okay, there's the targeting jammer. And it's quite good, yeah, it's quite good. Look at the units lost here. And yet, yeah, it does seem to actually be going well for Frosty in terms of unit lost. And they are in kind of a base trade scenario here now. Actually, you know, I said maybe that would favor Mazrym because Frosty stands to lose more eco, but the production would be like here for FrostyTeeth. That's definitely something Mazrym wants to deal with, I suppose. Getting this extraction would be rather instrumental. He definitely needs that. LAV armor, I think that's a good choice. You can't really go fighter and gunship off this, can you? And the choice here is going to be railgun fabrication by Frosty. I almost think one way to do this would be to get the carrier production upgrade and then just like mass LAVs. I'm not sure though. These ALMs are going to be pretty annoying here as Frosty attempts to bridge the gap. But they're not going to do like the stun locking effect that we've seen before. Oh, and it looks like Mazrym is going to go for the base trade, but yeah, this is probably a mistake. Carry can be powered up though, and definitely more power to put in those ALMs. Here it is. And also, if he can, he'll want to target like the mass in the center there. Looks like Frosty's just sticking it though, and I think he can really. This is why I said like in the last replay that, you know, a lot of Soban players will kind of like rely on ALM, but they won't really save you because like they can't fight off this kind of thing. They can only supplement an army really. So spamming them usually does not make much sense. I don't know, I feel like Mazrym just kind of needs AAVs here if he's going to hold this. You get AAVs and you get sub on rails and you should be able to do it. At this point also the sand skimmer's already up here, so I would switch to the weapons. Frosty's carrier here, slowly but surely going to chunk off all of these LAVs, and they're kind of just throwing themselves away there. Would have been better, like, it's good that they took out the second base eco, but it would have been better if they had held, like, come back in and maybe picked off this heavy railgun, you know? LAV Assault Pack is finishing. I almost imagine he's going to use that to try and do something like this, you know, like do a run by and get some damage in on these people. Oof. Yeah, you don't want to push into the ALMs with the Assault Railgun here. That's one thing for sure, because these ALMs actually do damage now. Like they've been changed that they're less focused on stunning and more focused on actually just doing damage to people. So you can see its damage is up to 60 here already. And I think these sand skimmers probably will go down here. I like this. This is good for Mazrym. Just holding them there, and then they can, you know, just kind of chunk people off as they come in. Using that word chunking quite a lot recently. I've noticed that. All the sand skimmers are gone, I think, but there's only like heavy railguns left. If Mazrym realizes this, he can just run in there and do his thing. I haven't even used the boost here. Frosty making assault railguns, that's what he's going to need here. Whoa, whoa. Anyway, by this you can tell he's not Sparrow because he actually is backing away. I always think it's fun to watch Sparrow play because, like, no matter what happens, he's not going to back away until either you or him loses. It's always, like, it's really fun to see. Second extraction going down now for Mazrym. And that's interesting for someone who did not have the field control to be able to get two artifacts out like that. But there's always the danger now that FrostyTeeth can do, like, a heavy eco switch here. If he gets refinery mode now, he can be on 3 bases before too long, and I think he definitely should. Yep, there it goes. You don't want to stray too close to the carrier there, do you? Ooh. That's a dead LAV. Mag Accelerator is coming out for Mazrym. That would almost suggest to me that he wants to push off the back of this. I don't think he can, though, really. But his Sport Cruiser is out, so he's going to be on 2 bases now. Frosty needs to wait for about 30 seconds, but once he fills up the salvagers, he'll be on 3 bases. There is, you know, there is potential for counterattacking here from Mazrym, but I don't know. And that Mag Accelerator, like I said, kind of suggests that he would, but these guys are just hanging back, so it's interesting to see. George of the jungle. Okay, refinery mode is finished now. A couple of LAVs coming in here to challenge the assault railgun. I think they can. Yeah, he needs to be backing away immediately. Let's send this guy in too. Well, actually, with these guys on the high ground, they were able to get a hit off there, which is pretty handy. These guys just like, are they shooting at us? Nah, certainly not. Oh wow, look at that. Frosty getting missile ship fabrication. I'm not sure what tipped him off that he needs this, but it's actually at the exact same time that Mazrym is getting fighter and gunships. That's a pretty clairvoyant from him. And he is indeed going to be up on 3 bases here now. I don't know if Mazrym is making a support cruiser, but that's kind of what he needs now. You know, you don't want to be on 2 bases and your opponent's on 3, obviously. More assault railguns getting made by FrostyTeeth. I don't know if he had seen these railguns from Mazrym or not, but yeah, that's definitely the counter to assault rails. But this is problems for Frosty because like there's 2 more extractions coming out. If he just lets his opponent get up to 4 like that, it's probably gonna end on an artifact extraction. You know, it gets hard to hold off at that point, especially when you need to have your anti-air units come with you, so your army is very slow. relatively speaking. You know, otherwise they're just going to get picked off by air. And Coalition Air is very consistent, I guess I would say. You know, strike fighters, they don't ever really disappoint, do they? Sport Cruiser Anti-Air actually coming up from Mazrym now, so he's a little bit worried about that too. But if I were him, I would start making, well, I mean, I would make a Sport Cruiser first, but then, and that's maybe even what he's doing right now, but then I would just start making those air units, and I think you're going to have a pretty good game here. Third extraction goes down, fourth one doesn't even look like it's being challenged at all. And Mazrym knows this, of course, he's got the vision on the map there. 2 probes, in fact, being out at the same time, although this one's not really doing too much, I suppose. Yeah, it is a Sport Cruiser, so he's going to be on free base. Air units are coming out. It's very good. I think this is looking very good for Mazrym. Excusez-moi. I'm always tired. Assault ship fabrication is coming out from FrostyTeeth now. I think that's kind of an interesting choice, but it could work. Yeah, that missile ship needs to be up with the army here, though. It's not really doing too much in that particular position, is it? I think he wants to cut off the base runner. Okay, that's fair, but like the missile ship needs to be with it, or else these guys all just stand and be picked off by strike fighters. Trust me, it's happened to me many times. Although Mazrym is not launching, I think he should be, and he should probably have more strike fighters than that in the hangar already. Here's the launch now from him. The missile missed the probe, which is interesting. Yeah, it does go down eventually. But yeah, these guys just woefully out of position. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Not enough micro being done to the strike fighters, though, so one of them goes down here where he really shouldn't have, I don't think. And, you know, again, there's only 2 been produced. Like, if there were 5 in there, this whole thing would be dead, probably. That's what you'll see players like Discar and such doing. AAV fabrication coming out now from Mazrym. I think that's good, because if the window opens up that he wants, you know, to have AAV railgun as his army composition, and these guys should probably stop moving, by the way. He definitely wants to have that option available to him. Yeah, he's figured it out, but it took him a little while. It's gonna cost him a bit. How much is this gonna cost us? I don't know. Decades. You know, Frosty's actually taken a pretty aggressive stance on the map here, and Mazrym is still very defensive. I'd almost like to see him just get his power reserves up and see what he can do from there. The other thing about AV fabrication, of course, is it opens up the other tech choices, like the cruisers and such. I wonder if he's going to go for some of those. I don't know. Yeah, he is. It's going to be assault cruiser fabrication, but based on the numbers of railguns he's seen on the map, I doubt it's for the assault cruisers themselves. That, of course, is the tech that leads to artillery. Vehicle damage 2 is coming out now on the LAVs. That's always potentially pretty spicy. Now, we do have armor 3 on the railguns, though, so it's not going to be that good, but definitely helps him to take out, like, assault railguns and stuff like that, which in vanilla are almost, like, immune to strikecraft, but in the mod they have less armor, and the LAV actually does more damage to armored targets than it did in vanilla, or perhaps equal, but it does less against other targets. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but yeah, I mean, this blob of LAVs here is very dangerous. Wants to be careful, though, and I like the way he's backing away from this missile ship here, because you never know. I mean, this thing could just, like, chunk them so hard, but this is a real dangerous blob that, that Frosty has got to contend with. And these rails up on the high ground, that's also something really to be contended with. Again, if the missile ships could get up there, they could do something to it, but I don't know how that's really going to happen. I would stay on the high ground. I wouldn't vacate that. I mean, that's like a really good position. This guy trying to get a little cheeky, but I think it'll cost him his life. Well, maybe not. I think Mazrym has told all of his railguns to attack like one particular enemy unit. I wouldn't have done that. I think he can. Oh, and power reserves are coming out by Frosty, by the way. But I think Mazrym can afford to just have his railguns target who they will and keep them up on that high ground. And they're not going to attack sand skimmers. They don't do that in the mod. And I think it would be much more effective for him. But yeah, if artillery comes out, that could be real nasty. I would, I think maybe I already said this, but I would get the power reserves if I were Mazrym. Because they are actually really good in the mod for like the Savant carrier. So it's an assault cruiser is out now. Again, not totally sure what the idea with it is going to be. Because I thought, you know, he would just want to go straight to artillery, but we'll have to see. Maybe he's got something in mind here. Probably these would have been better if they were just more railguns, though, to be honest. Oh. Okay, it's a good thing Frosty's behind the hill here, but you do not want to move the carrier out like this. Especially the Soban one has very little armor at a base. You can get killed real quick doing that. Yeah, so it's just as well he's backing away there. I like the position of these LAVs though, because if you are going to make assault cruisers, at least you can recognize, you know, what they do for you, right? Which is they hold off against sandskimmers very effectively. And so that frees up the LAVs to do whatever they want, and there's like potentially a huge opening in the back line here. So I would definitely have these guys just running straight toward the eco. Not the extraction there. You can do better than that. I mean, there's nothing defending the home base. I think you can just ravage it if you want to. And being on 4 artifacts extracted yourself already, you've got a lot of wiggle room, whereas your opponent really just does not. They killed the artifact on the way through, though. Okay, maybe I stand corrected. It looks like the railgun war now finally started to go Mazrym's way, which I feel like it should have been all along. Yeah, like these assault railguns gonna try to push up, but they're just gonna get murderized over there. And the LAVs have found the salvagers now, so that's obviously not very good, is it? That's just gonna be GG to the economy of Frosty. I said they wouldn't target sandskimmers, maybe they would, but at either rate, he's going to win that sandskimmer war quite nicely. Production cruiser goes down on this side, and the LAVs show no signs of slowing. Assault ships are being made in this position to try and defend, but they don't have any armor, so they can get killed real fast by these LAVs. Just look at that. It looks like they're killing a railgun, you know what I mean? Sandskimmer's here trying to get up close. I think maybe the assault cruisers just move forward and shut that one down. And I think it's artillery. No, it's not artillery on the way from Mazrym, but it should be. He would definitely be able to use it quite nicely. Only thing Mazrym really needs to worry about are these extractions. Maybe you can send the LAVs back now that he's taken out the second base. Just, you know, head up here and take out the extraction. Or just sit there, I guess. That's also fine. But, I mean, he can really start pushing on his opponent now. And that carrier is quite powered up, but I don't think it's going to be enough. There's like 4 missile ships here, so you do need to be careful with the assault cruisers. Those things can die real fast with this kind of stuff. But, I don't know. Oh, yeah, see, that's what I mean. Oh, no. Yeah, so the missile battery barrage is like, it's pretty strong. So you gotta be careful against that one. Also, you want your sandskimmers attacking the guy who the railguns are hitting because he has the armor break on him, obviously. So it looks like the third extraction for Frosty will go down, but this Space Burner was killed. But there's just nothing left for him on the map anymore, and Mazrym has so much momentum here. He can just sit here, take the extraction, like, easy, or he can even push in and kill off his opponent's carry. Like, either one is fine. And I imagine he'll go for kind of the safer one, just kind of get the field control and extract that artifact, but he can do whatever he wants really at this point. And now artillery is coming out, and that's just going to be icing on the cake. I think the game is definitely his at this point, we can all see. Scalzian carrier looking in a pretty precarious position now. His artillery, of course, targeting it. That's always dangerous. Railguns in the hood, quite a few of them too, and I think the carrier will go down here. And that'll be GG. Well done to Mazrym. That was a good hold of like the aggression on him. And getting those 4 artifacts out, I think, really helped him a lot. That's the power of Saban railguns, man. Like I said earlier in one of my videos in the mod, they're a bit less survivable. You can see he only has 1 armor there, but like they're still the best railgun by far. So dangerous to go against them.